Okay, so I ordered the Kuryakyn Riot floorboards from Revzilla, and I was under the impression, because I didn't do my research, that they fit pretty much all Harleys 84 to 2018. I've never had a Harley with floorboards, so I don't know what the mounting brackets look like. I went on the parts catalog. The microfiche kind of looked like, I don't know, it was hard to tell. I didn't know. It didn't show how wide the mounting brackets were or anything like that. So I ordered these Kuryakyn Riot floorboards, and as you'll see later, I had a little bit of fitment issues with them. So if you go down here and you actually click fitment, it shows you that it's not for the 2018s. So for the 2018 Softails anyway. It goes electric glides. It does a road glide. So they're for big bikes. I really liked them. I like the burly look of them. I like the kind of motocross style. Went with the black theme of the bike. Thought they were going to fit perfect. They don't. The other parts I needed were I ordered from Harley. These are the part numbers for them. Sub-assemblies, those are the numbers. Those are the socket head cap screws for attaching the shifter bracket to the floorboard bracket. There's the floorboard brackets and the shifter sub-assembly right there. Like you can see, it was $182 or $183 shipped to the house. That gave me everything I needed to put floorboards on my Fat Bob. Now, as you're watching this, the install will not be following Kuryakyn's install guidelines. We are not going by their instructions. So, caveat emptor, if a bolt breaks on you because you did it the way I did it and your foot falls off at 200 miles an hour and you take a tumble, that's on you, Bo. I did some redneck engineering, and I am comfortable with the weight loads that it's going to be taking, and I figure it'll hold up. But you'll see. You like it, you don't like it, don't do it. In the meantime, hopefully Kuryakyn will come out with a new floorboard for the Softail, and then I'll actually be able to replace them, put proper floorboards on them, and then I could resell these. People will pick them up. They weren't expensive, $143, free shipping. So let's get to it. Well, what's up there, Tube? Alright, so today I'm going to do a quick little project. I realized that riding with the factory pegs right here, that my heels drop. Not only do they drag the ground, but they cause my legs to kind of like splay out away from the bike. And some other commenters on some other videos had mentioned that maybe I want to go to a stirrup style peg, or go to floorboards. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. These are Kuryakyn's Riot floorboards for the Harley Davidsons from, I don't know, they cover a gamut of years. But you notice there's no particular way to attach them. So what I had to do was acquire more new parts for a new bike. I had to get the left and right bracket for the floorboards, and then this shifter bracket that screws into this floorboard bracket. And then I needed to get the screws to attach this bracket to this bracket. Now, when you order the Kuryakyn floorboards, they come with screws to attach the floorboards. I guess because the mounting lugs and stuff are thicker. I didn't know this, so I ordered these drag specialty floorboard screws, which you can see are significantly shorter than the ones from Kuryakyn. I mean, they were only like $5, but it's $5 y'all don't have to spend if you're going to try to replicate this. It's a T45, and it looks to be like a 9/16 or something. I'll get the wrench out in a second. But on this side, you've got two T45s that connect the peg mount and the shifter linkage. And then you have this one little bolt right here that does the clampy on this and just holds the shifter to the linkage. You see the new bracket comes with a new bushing and everything, so that when you put this through, it will ride on a new bushing. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tore off, and then we'll look at putting everything back on. Yep, the wrench is has a 1/2 inch on the pinch bolt. So we'll just get it loosened up, and then we'll slide this apart. Alright, when you go to take that off, make sure you pull the bolt all the way out. Don't just get it nice and loose to where this is flopping around and you think you're going to get it out, because the bolt actually rides in that groove, so you can be as loose as you want and you're not going to be able to slip past that shoulder. Now also, you want to make sure you keep the spacer that was right there on the inside, and as I drop it all over my bench, and it looks like there's an O-ring, and there's probably an O-ring on the back side. Alright, yep, there is. So if you lose it, mine happened to stay on the rod, but it slides right out, and then we've got that right there. That's the O-ring for the front, and there's the spacer and our linkage. You might need to spread, put a screwdriver, a flat blade or something, just to give you a little bit more room. I was able to just kind of wiggle, maneuver, and tug, and it popped off. So, alright, let's get the peg off. Alright, so I cheated. I used a nice little impact. Looking at the threads, they look like they are Loctited, so I'll clean these up on a wire wheel, and we'll put Loctite back on before we put the other ones on. But that's it. I mean, those 2 spots, boom, she's off. Now what we are going to do is we're going to want to put this bracket onto the floorboard bracket before we bolt everything back up. So I'm going to clean these bolts up, find my Loctite, and then we'll get cracking on putting it back together. Alright, I dug out my Loctite and busted open the package of screws, and it looks like Harley was kind enough to put some kind of thread sealant or thread locker on from the factory. Now, I mean, you really can't screw this up. It only goes one way. You take the shiny side and you put it to the black side and you tighten the bolts. I'll have some torque specs around here somewhere. I'll post them up, but let me get that attached. Alright, your newly assembled floorboard bracket should look like this. Black side out, screws embedded in, and we will get it put up on the frame. I have my 2 factory screws that I removed when I pulled the peg out. I'm just going to use some quick stick 248. Don't use any like red Loctite or something like that you're going to have to heat up later. You will cuss yourself. So just get some standard old blue Loctite and call it a day. Alright, these peg bolts are located pretty far up in there. So when you go ahead and stick them in, use like an extension on your T45. That way you can just easily twist them in. You don't have to fight and try to get your big old meat hooks up under there. Now when we look at the bottom of the Kuryakyn floorboard, you can see the mounting tabs, and right here this one has a recess, and this is identical on the other side. What that's intended for is when you put their hardware in, the Allen side goes in the side with the recess like that, and then you put the nut on the inside. The Allen is the same 3/16 that we used for taking off. What did we take off? Oh, for putting on the that bracket. It's the same 3/16, and the nuts are a 7/16. So they give you nylocks. It's up to you if you want to add a little extra insurance and put some Loctite on it. I don't think it can hurt. I'll probably put a little smidge of Loctite on right there on the ends of the threads, and then we'll get it put right here. So you got one bolt comes in this direction, and then you got the other bolt that comes in this direction, and the nuts stay on the inside. So, all right, let's get this mounted up. Okay, after an irregularly scheduled interruption, I have the floorboard on, and I've got the shifter back in place. So when I put the shifter on, I just made sure it was somewhere that would look comfortable. I can adjust it later. There's splines. You move up and down. All right, now the big butt kicker. The Kuryakyn website lists these. On RevZilla, it says for all, I thought it said for all something to 18 Harleys. Okay, so I think that's what I bought off of. When I go to Kuryakyn's website, it says that these are for 18 electric glides, ultra glides, and Softails up to 17. Well, and here's why. This is our bracket. That is the mounting points. No bueno. Nowhere near fitting. But not to be deterred, I went ahead and I went down to my local hardware store and spent way too much for some junky bolts. I got some black Allen heads, 1/4 inch diameter. Then I got some 1/4 inch steel spacers. I used a 1 1/2 inch, so it was 1 1/2 inch, a 1 1/2 inch, but this one, or no, these are 2 3/4. Hardware store was sucking on hardware today. Either way, it's still 1 1/2 inch, but I had to grind a little bit off of this one. It was just maybe 1/8 of an inch too big. So rather than sit there and play with washers and all that other stuff, I reused the original Kuryakyn lock nuts. I mean, it seems sturdy. Doesn't look bad. I kind of dig it. So I guess I will do the same exact thing to the other side. I bought enough hardware to do it, and hopefully I don't break my floorboards off going down the road. But hey, you never know. So to each your own. That's my solution to using the currently available Kuryakyn Riot floorboards. Let's go ahead and go to the other side. This one's all buttoned up. Oh yeah, tidbit. When you take this off and you go to put it back together, put it in the bushing bracket before you bolt this on, or else you'll be undoing this. It's not a, giant worry. It's a 3/16 Allen and a 1/2 inch wrench, but then you got to unbolt this from the heim joint, slide it in, and do your dealie. And remember, O-ring spacer, then your shifter. All right, let's go to the other side. Went ahead and assembled the right-hand side one off of the bike. That way you can kind of see that's where it's supposed to mount, like right in there. But we've got 1 1/2 inch of spacer here. I bought some 4-inch bolts, and that's 1 1/2 inch of spacer with a little bit ground out, and it works like a champ. So let's get it mounted up. All right, we got the right side on, and we come and we look down here, and you can see the 2 mounting points there and there. Took the screws out of the old bracket. Don't do this one. All you need is that one and that one. You probably need an extension depending on how long your Torx is. That way you don't chew or goober anything up. But all right, now that we got this on, we have hiccup number 2. Check this mug out. Dang brake pedal smacks into the floorboard. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So, well, I guess I got one of 2 options. I can give Harley some more money and buy a floorboard brake pedal, or yeah, brake pedal, whatever you want to call it. Or, God, I hate to do it. I mean, I could put the red wrench to it and bend it up some. I mean, the brake pedal has sucked from the day I got it. It's anybody that's ridden them knows it's kind of like it's awkward to hit. It's not comfortable. So to bring it back up here where you can, tap forward on it and actually use it makes more sense anyway. I know if I red wrench it, I'm going to jack up that gloss paint. It would be easy enough to do. Just kind of put a little bend, like right in here, bring it up, because you don't have much movement in that lever, maybe a 1/2 inch, if that. So I mean, take a bend, bring it up, that way it's angled with your foot, and it would be fine. I don't know. I'm going to solve the brake issue probably in a little bit. It's just the rear brake. Granted, I use it a lot when I'm coasting into turns and stuff, or to scrub off some speeding turns. But it does go down, so if I need to, it'll push the floorboard out the way. Nothing super rigid. But, alright, well, I'll figure out how to solve it and I'll update you guys. But there you go. Kuryakyn Riot floorboards on the new Fat Bob. Later.
70 years, we've been protecting homes just like yours. You've probably even seen us around the neighborhood. Because if pests come back, protecting your home against pests is what we do. We are determinants. The kids, I have to go and